The story begins with an 11-year-old girl named Hedvig. Her dad, Leif, is known as Super Lion, a hero who protects their town and helps people in need. Everyone in the town respects and admires him. Before Leif, Hedvig's grandmother was Super Lion, and after Leif, Hedvig is supposed to become the next Super Lion. One day, a small child is about to get hit by a school bus, but Leif reacts instantly. He uses a car door to lift the bus just enough to save the child. Then, when the kid is about to fall into a construction mixer, Leif places an umbrella over it and saves him again. Everyone cheers and starts taking photos of Super Lion. Meanwhile, Hedvig is also on the school bus with the other kids. Her cousin Adrian proudly says, "I'm going to be the next Super Lion." Hedvig says the same thing, but everyone starts laughing at her because physically she's weak, and the only thing she's good at is playing video games. Hedvig feels frustrated. She wishes she could tell them the truth, that in her family, every generation becomes Super Lion, and one day that responsibility will be hers. She thinks to herself, "I wasn't born with any special powers, so dad keeps training me all the time." But her mom once told her not to worry, that when the time comes, she'll naturally be ready. However, after her mom passed away, everything changed. Her dad became too busy saving the town. Now he doesn't even talk about her becoming Super Lion anymore. But today, Hedvig decides something. She's going to prove herself. At school, the teacher announces that a talent show is coming up soon. Today, they'll test everyone's abilities to decide who gets to perform. All the students go to the gym and start showing their physical skills. Adrian performs perfectly in every activity, but Hedvig struggles even to climb a rope. The teacher says bluntly, "I don't think you have any special talent. Maybe this show isn't for you." Hedvig feels heartbroken. She quietly goes back home. Later, at her dad's request, she starts reading a book about becoming Super Lion. But then her friend Thomas messages her, asking her to play a game. Hedvig instantly turns on her computer and starts playing with him. She even starts live streaming. Only 2 people are watching, but she's still happy. Meanwhile, her dirty clothes are still lying around. Instead of cleaning them, she keeps gaming. This makes Leif angry. He tells her to turn off the game. Hedvig says, "Dad, just 2 minutes. I'll finish the game and then do it." But Leif doesn't listen. He pulls the plug and says, "You need to think about your future. How long are you going to sit in front of a screen playing these useless games? You're supposed to become Super Lion. Focus on that. At your age, I used to wake up early and train every day, but you just sit around." Hedvig gets upset and replies, "I'm not like you, Dad. Mom said I'll be ready when the time comes. You're worrying for nothing." Leif responds seriously, "We don't have much time. Dangers in the town are increasing. You need to take responsibility soon." Then he tells her to at least put her clothes in the washing machine. But Leif had carelessly left his Super Lion suit mixed with the other clothes, including the suit, into the machine. Still angry, she kicks the washing machine, and it suddenly starts spinning at high speed. After a while, Adrian arrives at the house with his parents for dinner. Hedvig's aunt mentions the talent show to Leif. He's surprised because Hedvig never told him about it. Her aunt and uncle then ask Hedvig, "So what talent are you going to show?" Hedvig doesn't really have an answer. Then she remembers, she's really good at playing drums in video games, so she decides she'll perform that in the show. But her uncle laughs and says, "I can't believe you're still stuck in those useless video games. You should focus on real skills that will actually help you in life." Meanwhile, the washing machine starts shaking violently due to the high speed. Suddenly, it crashes down the stairs, and the Super Lion suit flies out, landing right on her uncle's face. But he assumes it's just a cheap costume from a store, so he doesn't take it seriously. Leif soon realizes something is terribly wrong. Because of the wash, the Super Lion suit has shrunk. He quickly sends Adrian and his parents home. Then he tries to wear the suit, but it's now way too small. He can't even fit into it. Frustrated, he turns to Hedvig and says, "You have no idea what you've done. This suit has been passed down for generations, and now you've ruined it. How am I supposed to protect the town like this?" Hedvig tries to calm him down. "Dad, why are you so worried? You must have another suit, right? Just use that." But Leif shakes his head. "There is no other suit. This is the only one. It's been used for generations. And without Super Lion, this entire town could be in danger." Hedvig looks at the suit again and says, "Well, it looks like it might actually fit me. Maybe I can wear it and become Super Lion." Leif snatches the suit away. "You've already put the whole town at risk just by washing clothes. I don't think you're ready to wear this suit." Hedvig gets upset. "Dad, you always said I'd become Super Lion someday. That time is here, so why are you stopping me now?" Leif sighs and says, "I thought when the time came, you'd be ready. But that time hasn't come yet, and before it did, you've already made a huge mistake." That breaks Hedvig's heart. Crying, she leaves the house and goes to her grandmother. She tells her everything about the suit shrinking. Her grandmother is shocked, but Hedvig says, "Even if it shrank, it actually fits me. But Dad won't even let me touch it. I don't understand why he treats me like this. We all know I'm supposed to become the next Super Lion, but he still won't trust me." Her grandmother gently says, "This is partly my fault." She explains that the Super Lion suit has a special power. It doesn't just enhance a person's strength, it also amplifies their weaknesses. Hedvig asks, "Did something like that happen to you too?" Her grandmother hands her an old newspaper. She explains, "Yes, I gained incredible powers, but my weaknesses grew stronger too. I always wanted attention. So one day, in anger, I revealed my identity to everyone. Because of that mistake, she had to step down as Super Lion. At that time, the only one who could take her place was Leaf, but he was just 13 years old, so she secretly sent him away to train at a hidden Super Lion school. It was one of the hardest decisions of my life, and that's why Leaf still resents me. She looks at Hedvig and says softly, "I know things are hard for you right now, but life doesn't always go the way we want. There will always be ups and downs, but in the end, things will be okay. I believe you can become the best Super Lion this town has ever seen. You just have to ask yourself one thing. Do you truly believe you can become one?" Hedvig is left deep in thought. She goes back home and starts reading about superheroes. Then Leaf comes to her and says, "These superheroes you read about, they only exist in books. What we do is very different." He pauses, then admits, "After your mom passed away, I focused too much on my work, and maybe that's why I never prepared you properly. But I've made a decision. I'm going to train you to become Super Lion." Hedvig feels nervous. "I don't think I can ever become a Super Lion." Leaf explains, "The suit doesn't just boost strengths, it boosts weaknesses too. But that doesn't mean you're not capable. Some Super Lions are strong, others are smart. Everyone has their own strength, and you have one too." Hedvig starts imagining herself as Super Lion, catching criminals, saving people, protecting the town, and for the first time, she feels excited. The next day, Leaf takes her to the garage, his secret Super Lion cave. Hedvig puts on the Super Lion suit. Just then, Leaf gets a mission. A lemur has escaped from the zoo and is causing chaos. They rush to the scene. Hedvig tries to catch the lemur, but accidentally knocks things over and creates more mess. Leaf calls her Super Lion in front of everyone, but no one believes it, because to them, there's no way Super Lion could be this clumsy. To prove herself, Hedvig knew she had to catch the lemur. The lemur snatches peanuts from a kid and jumps onto a rooftop. Hedvig follows it. Suddenly, her eyes start to glow. For a moment, it feels like she already knows where the lemur is going to run next, but she ignores that feeling and keeps chasing it. The building is still under construction, and as Hedvig moves, the loose bolts start coming off because of her weight. She finally grabs the lemur, but suddenly the entire railing begins to collapse. Just in time, Leaf jumps in and catches Hedvig, saving her from getting seriously hurt. But the damage is already done. The falling railing causes chaos all around. Even the Super Lion statue gets destroyed. Leaf is deeply disappointed. He takes Hedvig home and says, "You caused all this destruction just trying to catch a lemur. If a real threat shows up, you might end up destroying the entire town yourself. I don't think you can ever become Super Lion. I need to find someone more capable." Those words completely shatter Hedvig. She goes to her room and starts playing games, but she can't focus. Her heart is broken. Tears start rolling down her face. Her friend Thomas tries to comfort her, but she doesn't listen. In anger, she pulls down her Super Lion drawing from the wall and throws it away. Meanwhile, the town is facing chaos everywhere, but Super Lion doesn't show up. People begin to think he has retired, and on social media, everyone starts criticizing him. At the same time, Leaf remembers something. He had seen Adrian running fast and jumping fences with ease, and now he starts to believe maybe Adrian could be the next Super Lion. He looks at the family chart and realizes Adrian might be the only suitable choice. Without wasting time, he calls Adrian over, explains everything, and gives him the Super Lion suit. The moment Adrian wears it, his strength increases instantly. Hedvig secretly witnesses all of this, and her heart sinks even deeper. She runs back to her grandmother. Dad gave the suit to Adrian and started training him. Mom always said I could become Super Lion, and I want to prove Dad wrong, but I need your help. Her grandmother agrees. She gives Hedvig a tracker. Hedvig had already memorized the locker password, so when Leaf leaves, she secretly places the tracker inside the suit. Now she can track when Adrian uses it. Then Hedvig puts on the suit herself and goes to her grandmother's house. Her grandmother begins testing her, making her try different physical activities, but Hedvig fails at all of them. Her grandmother says, "You don't seem to have any physical strength, but there must be something you're really good at." So Hedvig takes her home and shows her how she plays video games. With the suit on, she's even better than before, and suddenly, she realizes something. She can predict problems before they happen, just like in a game. Both Hedvig and her grandmother understand that's her real power, seeing problems ahead of time and solving them. Meanwhile, the lemur follows a train driver who is eating peanuts and sneaks into the train. After the train starts moving, the driver notices the lemur and gets terrified. He runs into the bathroom and locks himself in. In the chaos, the lemur accidentally increases the train's speed. Now the train is out of control. News spreads everywhere. A runaway train is heading straight ahead. Her grandmother sees the news and immediately takes Hedvig to stop the train. On the railway track, a man's car suddenly breaks down. At the same moment, the barriers close and his car gets stuck right on the tracks. The engine won't start. As he tries to fix it, the trunk door falls on him, trapping him inside. Hedvig sees the lemur inside the train and gets scared, but her grandmother tells her, "Don't be afraid. Just think, what do you do when you lose in a game?" Hedvig takes a deep breath and focuses. Suddenly, everything around her starts looking like a game level. She can see possible paths, possible moves. She realizes she can jump onto a truck, use electric wires, and reach the train. Hedvig's grandmother drives the car next to a moving truck, and Hedvig jumps onto it. Using a book, She grabs onto an electric wire, slides across it, and lands right on top of the truck. Without wasting a second, she rushes inside. The lemur thinks she's trying to steal its peanuts, so it starts growling at her. But Hedvig quickly notices something more serious: the man trapped inside the car on the tracks. She realizes if she doesn't stop the train in time, that man won't survive. Thinking fast, Hedvig drops a few peanuts on the floor. The lemur gets distracted and runs toward them. That's her chance. She quickly pulls the lever, and the train comes to a stop just in time. The man's life is saved. The train driver looks at her in shock and asks, "Who are you?" Hedvig smiles and says, "I'm Super Lion." Her grandmother watches proudly, and soon, the whole town is talking about her. She's all over the news. The next day is the talent show. Hedvig arrives at school with her dad and grandmother. One by one, students start showing their talents. Adrian plays the violin beautifully, and everyone is impressed. The teacher is about to announce him as the winner, but Hedvig stops her, because now, it's her turn. She secretly wears the Super Lion suit under her clothes and starts playing the drums. Just like a game. With the suit's help, she plays like a professional drummer. Everyone is shocked. They can't believe that Hedvig, who couldn't do anything before, is suddenly this talented. The entire room bursts into applause, but Adrian isn't happy at all. Before the teacher can give Hedvig the trophy, he attacks her. The teacher doesn't want the show to turn into chaos, so instead, she gives the trophy to Thomas. Meanwhile, Leif steps in to stop the fight, but when he realizes Hedvig brought the suit to school, he gets furious. "I thought you actually had talent in drums, but now I see. Without the suit, you're nothing. I wish I had never given you that suit." Those words hit hard. Her grandmother steps in and says, "You shouldn't talk to her like that. You've put too much pressure on her too soon. This isn't her fault." Leif responds angrily, "Mom, please don't interfere. You're saying I pushed her too early, but you sent me away at just 13 years old." He drops his mother home and takes Hedvig back. Then he says coldly, "I've increased security. You'll never touch the suit again, and if you cause any more trouble, I'll take your computer too." Hedvig, hurt and emotional, says, "I wish Mom was still alive. Maybe then none of this would have happened. Sometimes I feel like it should have been you instead." Leif is completely shaken and walks away silently. Later, Hedvig watches her old streams and messages Thomas apologizing. She realizes she ignored him because of all this, but Thomas is hurt. He doesn't reply. Hedvig feels alone. She looks at her mom's photo and breaks down in tears. At the same time, Leif sees breaking news. A massive rock is about to fall from the mountain onto the town. He immediately rushes there with Adrian. Adrian wants to reveal himself as Super Lion, but Leif stops him. "Your grandmother made that mistake. She craved attention, and the suit amplified that weakness. She revealed her identity and lost everything. I don't want you to make the same mistake." But Adrian doesn't listen. He calls the news reporters himself. In front of everyone, he reveals his identity as Super Lion, and to grab even more attention, he starts punching the rock, carving his face into it. Hedvig sees all of this on the news. She's furious. She throws the Super Lion book into the trash. Then she finds her old drawing, a simple one. Her mom's voice echoes in her mind. "I like your simple drawing more. You don't need powers to be a hero. You just need to help people." At that moment, Hedvig understands. She doesn't need to be someone else. She's enough just the way she is. Just then, her grandmother arrives and says urgently, "The suit is amplifying Adrian's weakness. He's losing control. If we don't stop him, he could destroy the entire town." Adrian is still carving his face into the giant rock, but suddenly, the rock starts breaking loose. It begins to fall. Luckily, no one gets hurt. Leif tries to calm Adrian down. "You're a good kid, but this suit is messing with your mind. If you take it off, everything will be okay." But Adrian has completely lost control. He blows a powerful gust and sends Leif flying backward. Leif gets angry and tries to remove the suit from him, but Adrian treats it like a game. Then suddenly, Hedvig, her grandmother, and Adrian's parents arrive. His parents are furious. Neither Leif nor the grandmother ever told them the truth about Super Lion. Meanwhile, Adrian grabs Leif and starts pushing him toward the edge of a cliff. His parents try to stop him, but Adrian knows something. If Leif survives, he'll never let him become famous. So without hesitation, he lets him fall. But at the last moment, Leif manages to unhook the suit. The suit falls with him, but thanks to the tracker, Hedvig realizes something. Leif didn't fall all the way down. Without thinking twice, she jumps off the cliff to save him. Leif is shocked and proud because Hedvig risked her life for him. With the help of a rope, her grandmother and the others pull them back up. Leif looks at Hedvig and hands her the suit. "You risked your life to save me. That proves you're a true Super Lion. From today, this suit belongs to you." But then, Hedvig does something unexpected. She throws the suit back into the cliff. "I can't even do simple things right. So how can I be a superhero? But now, it doesn't matter. Dad, I just need you." Leif's eyes fill with regret. He hugs her tightly. "I'm sorry." Nearby, Adrian's parents hug the grandmother too. And and for a moment, everything feels okay again. But suddenly, the massive rock starts falling again. Hedvig and her family move out of its path, but she knows, if that rock falls, it will destroy the town. She quickly calls Thomas for help. At first he hesitates, still hurt, but when he realizes people's lives are at risk, he agrees. Thomas sends her images of the rock. Hedvig studies them carefully, like a game level, and then she figures it out. If they break the smaller rock beneath it, the big one will fall in a different direction, away from the town. Working together, Hedvig and her family push a large stone, breaking the support beneath the giant rock. And just in time, the massive rock shifts direction and crashes safely away from the town. The people are saved. After that day, Super Lion disappears, but something changes. The people of the town start helping each other, protecting each other. Leif spends more time with Hedvig, even playing games with her and Thomas, and for the first time in a long time, the family is truly happy, and Hedvig finally understands. You don't need powers to be a hero. Sometimes just being there for others is enough. If this story meant something to you, make sure to subscribe and share it with someone who needs to hear this today. See you in the next story.